and welcome to our Wednesday vinyasa yoga with yours truly, Shay Alexander, coming at you from Movement Revolution. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and start in easy seated Sukhasana. Again, as per the norm, if this is uncomfortable for your knees, you do not need to do any of the poses that cause you discomfort. So stretch your legs out, sit long and lean. Mostly, I just want you to focus on that pratyahara, withdrawal of our senses, so we can completely exist in this moment. So allow your thoughts to drift by. No judgment, no expectations. Our shoulder blades are going to sink down and back. Hands can be wherever they are most comfortable for you, either on your knees or in your lap folded neatly. Just breathe in through the nose and then back out through the nose. Taking this opportunity to count. How long does it take to reach the inhale? And kind of match that at the top. Finding length through the spine as we inhale. And then the next time you exhale, we're going to introduce a couple of bandhas. So the Uddiyana Bandha is the belly button moving inward, and Mula Bandha is lifting up through the pelvic floor, otherwise known as Kegels, just on the exhale. So inhale, relax everything, aim the top of your head towards the ceiling, and then exhale, focus on the bandhas. We're going to hang out here for about 10 breaths. Take this opportunity to immerse yourself completely, not only in your yoga practice, but out off of your mat. Check in throughout the day. Sits bones are gently pressing into our mat. Eyes can remain open or let your eyelids become heavy. And eventually moving back into equal ratio breath in through the nose and out through the nose. We're going to find our Anjala Mudra, heart center. And as you inhale, let's lift both arms straight up. Spread the fingertips and plug them into the ceiling. Following the breath as we guide it down into our diaphragm and then back out. Next time we're ready to exhale, let's go ahead and turn the palms to face forward and allow both arms to drop down next to our hips. Right arm lifts up, lateral stretch. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Inhale, lift up, lateral stretch on the opposite side. Exhale. We're just going to hang out here a little bit. Opening through the shoulders, through the side body. In today's practice, we will focus on our core and building up to headstand through dolphin. So if dolphin is your final expression, perfectly fine. I will give us options to go up against the wall. If we want to just try a little itty bitty headstand today, no pressure, it's your practice. Let's do a couple more flows, side to side, one breath, one movement. Plant both hands just behind the hips, fingers facing forward, and as we press our palms and lift the heart, soften the muscles around the neck. Gently look up. Slowly moving into an easy seated forward fold. So we're asking the low back to release a little. Take your time. You're not in any hurry. And eventually we're going to make our way into our child's pose at the top of our mat. Either knees together, child's pose, or the wide knee version. Inhale, float forward into our tabletop. Inhale, right heel lifts. Exhale, round. Knee to the forehead. Shoulders and hips stay straight on the inhale. Exhale, round and crunch. Opening the heart, getting the glutes a little activated. Let's set this back down, moving right into the other side. Exhale as knee moves towards forehead. Inhale as we aim bottom of the foot skyward. Slide the shoulders down and back here. And when both knees are placed underneath our hips, once again, palms under shoulders, release the spine. Exhale, chin moves towards chest, tailbone moves under, and then inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin and the tailbone upward. Beautiful cat-cows. We started warming the shoulders, the arms, moving down the spine, to the legs. A gentle, slow warm-up. Flat back. We're going to take that right heel and bring it up for a hold this time. Hang out here or reach back with the opposite hand. Place the top of your foot in that hand and then create just a little bit more as we work to push the hand away with the top of our foot. Gently releasing. And if you're not able to grab, you could utilize a strap here or just hang out here. Heart reaching towards the front of the mat, bottom of the foot lifted. You grab the hold of your right foot with your left hand. Go ahead and grab your left foot. Right hand. See if we can soften the muscles across our face. And slowly release. Knees together, toes together, hips to heel. Child's pose. Inhale, floating forward to our tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes and press hips to sky for our Ardha Mukha downward dog. So we're just going to pedal the feet a little bit. Headstand requires a lot of shoulder strength, a lot of back strength. So downward dog is a good resting pose and place to get started. Ears right between the arms, slowly rotating the upper arms out. Moving back into our breath. Let's drop the heels towards the floor, softening both knees. Long, straight back. As we inhale, let's float forward into our plank. Knees come down or not. It's our first chaturanga, so if you want to take a little break here, bring the knees down. Exhale, elbows stay close to our sides, and once the hips touch down, let's press into the floor. Spread the toes, spread the fingers. Cobra it's a nice early heart opener. And then pushing away using those lovely arm muscles. Let's drop back into child's pose. Inhale, forward, or modified plank. Let's tuck the toes, bring the hips up. Downward facing dog. Floating forward into our plank. Slowly lowering that chaturanga. Pausing. And then continuing down. Press the hips in. Open through the heart. Maybe lifting up a little higher here. Press those hips in. Keep the belly button moving inward. Protect the back. 5 more seconds. Soften the muscles around your feet. Let's exhale. Press back into child's. Release. Moving into our tabletop. Let's tuck the toes under. Rotate upper arms out and away as we move into Ardha Mukha Asana. Downward facing dog. Make it a pretty down dog. Really take the time here to focus on every part of your body. The feet planted, the palms planted, weight off the pinkies, upper arms rotating out, hips lifting. Let's take that opportunity now to walk the toes to the top of our mat. Bend the knees, press the heels in. Let's lift and lengthen into our mountain pose. Inhale, let's bring both arms up overhead. Back bend at the top of our breath. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up into our flat back or monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, rise up into Tadasana or mountain, pausing. We're just going to do this a few times. Inhale to extended mountain, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees, lengthen the spine. Come halfway up into our flat back. Exhale, forward fold. As we inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, heart center. Let's hang out here a little longer this time. So inhale for 3 breaths to the top. A little back bend, so make sure we can still breathe here. Arms are right alongside our ears. Exhale, forward fold for 3. Soften in the knees as much as we need to really feel the stretch in the low back as well as the hamstrings. Come halfway up into our flat back. Reach those spread fingers towards the floor. Keep that belly button moving inward. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drive both heels as we float up and land in Tadasana, arms and Anjali Mudra. Inhale, circle sweep. Lift and lengthen, arms come up overhead. Exhale, planting both hands on either side of our feet. Step back into our plank. Just hanging out here a little bit, creating that warmth. Drop the hips, but I want you to imagine a straight line from the back of your head down through your heels. So, not hips lifted, and try to avoid dropping the hips to create that sway. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Asana. Right heel heel floats up towards the ceiling. Spin the knees on an exhale. Plant the foot in between our hands. Let's go ahead and open up into crescent pose. And then exhale. Frame the front foot. Let's step back into downward dog. Shifting forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Remember, knees down or not. Inhale for up dog. Exhale back to left heel lifts on the inhale. On the exhale, sweep it through. Let's go ahead and float into crescent pose on the inhale. Exhale back down. Sliding feet together for forward fold. Inhale, press both heels. Tadasana. Inhale, lift up, back bend at the top of the breath. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up from flat back. Exhale, plant both feet. Step the left foot back. Open up for your crescent pose. Remember, you can always bring the back knee down if you want to modify your sun salutations today. Downward dog. Let's inhale, float forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. And then exhale back. Bring that left heel up. Spin the knee on the exhale. Sweep it through. Drop that back heel towards the floor. On an inhale, let's lift up into our crescent. Exhale. Plant the hands next to this foot. We're going to slide feet together. Drop the heels and inhale, floating back into Tadasana, our foundation pose, all of our standing asanas. From our Anjali Mudra, let's inhale, reach up towards the ceiling, a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive. Forward fold, letting the backs of the legs release here. Even turning our head side to side. We store a lot of tension in our neck. Perform headstand successfully. And try to relieve all the tension, all the strain in your shoulders and neck. Let's plant the hands next to our feet. Decide if you would prefer to step, jump, or walk back into your plank. We're going to be here for just a few more seconds. We're going to do 30-second holds on our planks. Side plank variation. So, as we get prepared to move into our side plank, decide if you would like to bring your right knee under your right hip, or if you would prefer to roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. Lifting and lengthening. Try to stack the joints. And if it's a little too difficult with the feet stacked, you can always stagger the legs, like so. It's a little bit nicer. Continue to press away from the floor so we don't feel anything collapsing through the shoulders. Couple more breaths here. Reach, reach, reach. And then on an exhale, let's bring the left hand over. Whatever version we did on the right, let's mimic that on this side. 30-second hold. And breathe. See if you can notice where your body is trying to hold on to tension. Maybe through here, release. On our next exhale, let's bring that right hand down. Gently set the knees to the mat. Let's drop back into our child's pose. And even embryo pose as we work towards rabbit. So we're going to bring our arms on either side of our body, resting fingertips on the toes. Maybe even our forehead on the mat. Again, if you would prefer, you could bring a blanket, a block, anything for your forehead to alleviate stress through the neck. All right, let's keep that warmth. So we're going to plant the elbows underneath our shoulders as we work towards arm balance. But really, it's just dolphin plank, so it's not scary. We're going to set the feet out behind us. And a way that I like to measure, grab a hold of your biceps. All right? Hands are parallel, right next to each other. They're going to start to move towards one another. The longer you hang out here, I'll leave it up to you. Take a peek at your hands and move them away from one another if they start to come towards the other. Let's pull that belly button in, lift up into your plank. And let's start to walk the toes towards our elbows. Softening shoulders as we reach the top of our head towards the mat. Back is long. Maybe even floating the right heel up. Keep pressure on the mat with both forearms. And if we went into three-legged dolphin, make sure we do the same thing on the other side, creating that emphasis. So forearms are planted. Take a peek if our hands start to move together. Knees come down. Let's flip the toes out. Drop hips to heels. Child's pose. We're going to move into rabbit this time. So, just like embryo, arms are along our side. We're going to hang on to our heels with both hands. Plant the top of our head as close to our knees as we can. No pressure on the head as we lift the hips off of our heels. Inhale, reach, 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 hips to the sky. Exhale, let's drop back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Now this time, we're going to hang out for 3 full breaths. Pressing the hips skyward, hanging onto those heels. And just realizing if we're putting more pressure into our neck, back off a little. Think of your head as a placemat. And let's exhale, moving into our thunderbolt pose. And go ahead and just place the heel of your palm right here. And I want you to take your middle finger and tap 3 times the center of your head. This is where we should be thinking of placing our head when we're getting ready to move into rabbit pose, hare pose, what we just did, or headstand pose. So just keep that in mind. We're going to drop down into our child's, release the spine. Inhale, come forward, tuck the toes under, hips the sky, downward facing dog. Gears between forearms, weight off the pinkies. We're rotating those arms open just a bit. Softening the knees as much as you need to. Bring the right heel up. We're going to bend that knee. We'll scorpion dog here for a moment. Let's come back to center. We're going to shift through so that the knee is under our heart, our shoulders are over our wrists. Extend that right arm, right foot out to the side, and then let's rotate, opening up into our fallen angel pose. We're not going to be here forever. And exhale, let's come back down. Moving back into downward dog. Resting here, beautiful resting pose, or adding our vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or up dog. And then exhale back to plank. From down dog, we bring that left heel up this time. Drop the heel towards the glute. Little scorpion dog here for a moment. And then we're going to move back to center. Exhale, shifting forward, knee under heart, shoulders over wrist. We're going to extend the left leg to the right side and transition into our fallen angel. All the weight on the left arm instead of the right. Keep pushing the mat away from us. And then we're going to exhale, moving back out into Ardha Mukha, or downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Let's bring that right heel. We're going to bend the knee on the exhale. Set it through. We're going to turn the back heel out as we get ready to move into Virabhasana 1. So aim your hips to the top of the mat. Let's interlace the fingers together and just press skyward. Shoulders coming down and back. That front knee and that left hip pressing towards the top of our mats. Release our hands as we move into chest release. You can grab a hold of the elbows, interlace the fingers, or move into reverse prayer. Let's go ahead and straighten that front leg. Guide the inner thighs towards one another. Let's bow forward in our pyramid pose. Release the hands, even softening the knee a little bit. If you want an extra stretch here, we're going to transition our weight onto the right leg, hanging out in our tripod, or working towards balance half moon. Hips are stacked, pressing that back heel towards the back of the mat. Trying to use the core here. So if you really feel that right arm creating most of the support for you, see if we can come back into our hips, our legs. Almost done. And on that exhale, let's go ahead and bring the right hand down. We're going to drop back into a low runner's lunge. A twist here, something for the shoulders. Let's twist on both sides. Exhale back to center, right hand planted under right shoulder, twist and opening up to the left side. Getting ready to move back into Ardha Mukha Asana. Decide if you want that vinyasa between your sides. I like it. Inhale, float forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog or cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Okay, left heel. Bring it up. We're going to swing it through. So get ready for our Virabhasana, our warrior 1. On the left leg. Arms come up overhead. And as we push our feet into our mat, we're also trying to lift and lengthen. Arms, crown of the head, upward. Give your body and breath time to check in. Seems too easy? Drop down into your lunge a little lower. Ask the legs to work. Let's release the hands. Bring them behind as we begin to straighten the front left leg. If you feel like there's a lot of space between your feet, like I did, you can position them closer together. a pyramid, I like to have a little bit of a narrower stance so I can feel that stretch without locking that front knee up. So create a little micro bend in there. We're still guiding the inner thighs together. We're still lengthening through the spine. And eventually we'll release both hands down to our yoga mat, softening this front knee as we work on balance. So tripod, we're working towards balance half moon. Keeping the hips really alive and engaged here. So we're pressing that back heel towards the back of our mat. Maybe raising that right hand off of our hip and bringing it towards the ceiling. But I do encourage you to be near a wall. Sometimes it can create a little bit better focus. We're going to turn so that we're facing forward, dropping down into our low runner's lunge here. Right hand under right shoulder. Let's twist gently to that side. Exhale. Twist and open up on the inhale. Exhale. With our hands under our shoulders, let's step back into downward dog. Shift forward to plank. Slowly lowering. Press the hips in. Cobra pose. Exhale. Child's pose. All right. So we're going to do our power pose now. If you're ready, if you're feeling it. I do recommend, if you are working on your headstand, something that you enjoy, you can pull your mat right up against the wall here so that you know as we slowly walk into it or work into it, you can tell, maybe I want to bring my knees in, maybe I don't. So that is up to you. We're going to start once again in our forearm balance pose. So go ahead and bring your right hand to your left bicep, your left hand to your right bicep. Make sure we can grip that. So we know that our elbows are stacked under our shoulders, and we're going to interlace the fingers together. Remember that spot in the center of our head? Just a place mark. We're going to lift our hips to the sky, and as we continue pressing the forearms into the mat, hang out here, maybe bring one knee in, or two. Legs together, forearms pressing in. And you can stay with your knees to chest, or only staying as long as your body allows. You might be able to stay a little longer if you have the wall supporting you. Again, just like crow last week, if you'd like to pause the video, play around with a dolphin, either up against the wall, recommended, or in the wild. We're going to do a little bit of our rabbit pose. When you're done with your hands or shoulder stand, headstand, we're going to do shoulder stand too. So go ahead and bring our top of our head as close to our knees. Grab a hold of those heels without putting any pressure on the neck. Lift. Exhale, come back down. From our thunderbolt pose, we're going to slide hips off of our heels. Bring the legs out in front as we get ready for shoulder stand, which is a really good release for the headstand. However, if you are not used to shoulder stand, again, feet up against the wall, or we can just lighten it. So just like when we do other poses, I'm going to walk you through it. You decide how far you want to go. So we'll lie on our backs with our arms along our side, fingers spread out, pressing the arms into the mat. And bring our knees into chest. Lift the tailbone up. Start to straighten the legs out. And as we shift, we're going to move into a half shoulder stand. And if you feel any part of your neck on the mat, that's when you would want to take a blanket like so and fold it up so that your shoulders are on the blanket and your head is not. That way your neck has some lift, you're safe, and you can really enjoy shoulder stand. So when you're in shoulder stand or half shoulder stand, we're going to try to bring those hands to the small of the back and scooch the elbows in closer. Again, this can be done up against the wall with your feet, and then you're just ready for legs up the wall. It's a good release. I would practice shoulder stand when we want to get out of it. We're going to bring our hands back to the side, slowly unroll, so we're utilizing the core, not straining our neck at all. And then we're going to move into Sukhasana, or an easy seated pose. Do just a little bit of some neck release poses before I release you for your very own Shavasana. So we're going to start with the right ear moving towards the right shoulder. We're going to be here for a little bit, so settle in. Let those shoulder blades sink down and back. Find the sits bones, press them into our mat. And after about 30 seconds here, we're going to take that opposite hand, so our left hand, and just straighten it out towards the floor until you find that point of, so you may need to bring your left hand a little forward, a little back, even turning your eyes more on the floor to encourage release to the left side of our neck. Full minute here. And let's go ahead and place the left hand back on the left knee, turning so eyes and chin is facing the floor. Sitting back slightly, with our legs in front. And let's look up gently towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the chin towards the collarbone. Very subtle here. Imagine that you're performing cat-cows with just the cervical, just the neck. Release that tension. All right, we're going to move back into our Sukhasana. Different ankle on top, just so it's a little something for your brain to focus on. Drop those shoulders down, press those sits bones in, and let's bring the left ear towards our left shoulder. You can take a couple breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth if you'd like here. Allow muscles across your face to soften. Without losing integrity through the spine, still straight. We're going to take the right hand this time and just reach towards the ground outside of this. Bringing that arm either slightly forward turning our eyes a little bit more towards the earth, whatever allows you to feel through the neck, through the back of the shoulder. Relaxing the ankles, toes. Go ahead and set the right hand back to the knee. Leaning back to bring our legs out in front. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the week. I hear it's going to be kind of warm. So until we meet again, my friends, all the light inside of me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Peace. Shanti.